Everything you desire is waiting for you to claim it. There's no creating involved, only invention through imagination and building through action. You are at the center of all your desires, dreams, and achievements. Welcome to Designing Your Life Today, the podcast that's all about your success, achieving your goals, building wealth through your business, and building your most passionate, powerful, magnificent life. Discover ways to use your purpose to connect you to serving others and living your dreams. I am Pat Council, and I know you are built by design to win. And it all begins with knowing how to tap into your success energy. Let's get on the path of discovery, decisive action, development, and unwavering dedication to your life's calling. It's time to embark on a transformative journey where your deepest passions become your most rewarding achievements. Embrace your power to shape your destiny, because this is your moment to do life with power. Again, Happy New Year, Power Up Nation. All you power achievers that are ready to roll, ready to make something great happen, ready to get in the mix in 2026. Getting in the mix means you're going to be more involved in your life. Now, if you think that sounds a little bit selfish, that's not what this is about. This is about you becoming the best that you were designed to be, which we are all designed or built by design to win. This is about you stepping up to the plate and finally making that decision that you are going to release the best that's in you so that you can serve your purpose on the highest level and get the rewards that you desire and the rewards that you deserve. We live in a time where people seem to think that their success is up to someone else. Well, here's the thing. This is never going to change. Why? Because God says He's in each of us. So it is up to you. You decide. And it's time to make that decision. With that being said, let's talk a little bit about looking back. So it is important that we look back just for a moment so that you can find inspiration. And that's our topic for today. Look back and find inspiration. So you're looking back to find inspiration. And what kind of inspiration are you looking for? Well, you're not looking for inspiration. You're going to find that inspiration. It's going to come when you look back over the previous year and you ask yourself the question, what were the goals that I set that I didn't achieve? And why didn't I achieve those goals? In what ways did I hold myself back? So you want to ask yourself these questions. What way did I hold myself back? Why didn't I keep my promises to myself? And here's the biggie. And what am I going to do differently this year? That's what getting in the mix is all about, you guys. In 2026, it is so time to get in the mix. Time moves forward, and this is something that we don't think about, or let me make it more personal. Something that I didn't think about at one point in time in my life. Sometimes we think we have all the time in the world. And here's the thing. Whether you think you do or you don't, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you have today. Power is in the present moment. This is why you're here. This is why we're all here, to serve a purpose, not to complain, not to whine, not to look at gossip that's on YouTube and other places. We're not here for that. Now, am I judging you for it? Absolutely not. I'm not in a place to do that. Okay. Cause I mean, come on, let's be honest. Who doesn't love a little bit of good gossip? But the other side to that is actually, I'm not a fan of it. However, the other side to that is when you become involved in that, that says a lot about where your thinking is. It also says a lot about what you think of yourself. In other words, we have to look at someone else's mistakes, someone else's mishaps, someone else's, I want to say misgivings and things that perhaps they should not have done that are not exactly honest or good. We have to look at that and then spread that so that we can feel better about ourselves. Absolutely not. If you're going to look at it, and if you're going to pay attention to it, why don't you look at it and say, you know what? I know they can do better, and think good about them. So I want you to look at what has stopped you in the previous year. This is the beautiful part about reflecting. That's why I said we're only going to look back for a moment, because it is not for you to stay there. You're not designed to live in the past. This is where anxiety comes from. This is where stress comes from. Okay. This is where fear comes from. A lot of times, this is where anger comes from. When you live in the past, because it is not how human beings are designed. We are designed to live in the present moment. So right now, in this moment, you can take a moment and look at the past and make some present moment decisions. That's where you find your inspiration. Okay. In other words, if you set a goal and you look at that goal and said, okay, I was going to, increase my income. And if you didn't actually increase your income, and the question becomes, what happened? Why didn't you do it? A lot of times it is based on our identity. We sabotage our own success a lot of times. And I'm not saying this because it sounds like something, let's say, a motivational speaker would say, okay, because I'm more of an inspirational type speaker, okay, and I'm more of a trainer. I like to share information that's going to help people move the needle in their lives. Not that some motivational speakers don't. But let's press on. But the point is, when we look at these things, okay, I didn't earn the kind of money I said I would earn. If you say that to yourself, if that was one of your goals, then you want to ask yourself why. And I'm going to help you out a little bit with that right now. We've been talking about identity the entire time. And I thought about this a lot, and I said, okay, I think we need to talk about this a little bit more. Because in reality, our identity is being given to us by, I want to say, the so-called powers that be. And I'm not just talking about the people that are in Washington. I'm talking about the so-called powers that be. We're talking about teachers in schools. We're talking about, and Washington, or the politicians. They're not excluded from this. They're included, but it's not just them. We're even talking about your peer groups. Someone comes up with a way of thinking as to how things should flow and how things should go and how they should be. Don't let people should all over you, because that's not their place to do that. That's too much control. And here's what happens when people start to try and control other people. Things don't get better. Okay. It becomes more restrictive. There's more anxiety, and you don't feel good about actually who you are, until you claim your identity. So look back and identify the things that you know that you could have done well, you could have done better. And don't beat yourself up about it, but find inspiration by saying, you know what? I'm getting in the mix in 2026. I'm going to make something amazing happen in my life. I'm going to do what it takes so that this thing that already exists for me, the good that is already waiting for me to claim it, that it comes into my life, that I can actually manifest it. Manifesting means or manifest meaning that you will be able to touch it. You'll be able to see it. You'll be able to have use it. You'll be able to use it to perhaps benefit other people who are close to you. So think about these things. So look back and find inspiration. Once you find the inspiration, once you look back, then come back to the present moment, because yes, and I'll say it again, it is time to get in the mix in 2026. That is what this is all about. Now, when we talk about your identity, a lot of times our identity has been given to us by our parents, how they grew up, what they think, their philosophies on life, and or as I said, teachers, and yes, it can be politicians. They've created the class, protected classes, people who need to be protected by the government. No, in other words, it's people who actually need to be manipulated by the government. But we won't go there. All right. Wait, I just went there. Anyway, let's press on. So here's the point, you guys. The point that I'm making is that this is your year to make something amazing happen. Okay, time is going to continue to move on. Things become better when we become better, not because there's a law that's designed to make it better. You know what? There are laws that say if you steal, you're going and you get caught, you're going to go to prison. There are laws that say if you kill and you get caught, you're going to go to prison. Oddly enough, these laws say don't do that, but people still do it. And that's my point. My point is that they can make 1,000 laws, okay? And it's been said, and I don't think he was the one who said it, but he's the one who I heard say it. Denzel Washington said it. I heard him say, you cannot legislate morality. And he's 100% correct. So you can't, the same way you can't legislate morality, you cannot legislate identity. You can't tell me that you've created this box, and these are characteristics of people, let's say because I'm African American, of people who are, in fact, African American like me, that we all fall under this category. I see this garbage all the time. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just me. Okay. I love the skin I'm in. I love the body I'm in. Every day. Do I work to make it all my body better? Yes. But I love it starting every day. Okay, so I love the person I see in the mirror, because if I don't love her, who else will? And this is something that you want to consider perhaps adopting if you have not adopted this about yourself. There is nothing wrong with you unless you refuse to accept that. And the only thing that becomes wrong with you at that point is the identity that you've chosen to adopt, which means an identity that's counter to who you were designed to be. You are built by design to win. We are all built by design to win on some level, in some capacity. But the funny thing is, it becomes so difficult for people to win because they're focused on other people. They're focused on what's going on. You know, what's funny? I went on YouTube actually this morning, and I was looking for something in particular, and I get these emails, inviting me to all these different webinars and workshops and things like that. And while I don't have the time to participate in a lot of these workshops, I do like to see what's going on in my own industry. And I do have my favorites, yes. However, I went online to check one out, and right underneath, here's something that's positive that I'm going to look at, okay, because I think we could all stand to learn from someone else. I mean, I share a lot of great information that helps you guys, but you know what? I'm also learning. I'm always going to learn. And I've said this before, I'm never going to know everything. I'd like to, but I'm never going to be that know-it-all who doesn't think that she needs to learn from someone else, who doesn't think that perhaps this person can share something that will either enlighten me or spark inspiration in me, or just really help me solidify something that I'm working on. It is important in this time, when you get into the mix, when you become involved in your own success, it is important that you open your mind and learn. It is important that you toss out what doesn't serve you so that you can get to where it is you desire to be. But as I was saying, so I go on YouTube and I said, okay, I'm going to check this out. It's live. And as soon as I go to that page, right off to the side, as you know, if you've ever been on YouTube, excuse me, they recommend other videos that you can watch. And I'm like, for the life of me, YouTube, why do you think I want to see this stuff? So what they do is they throw in things that kind of align with my subject, but then they also throw in some other things that don't particularly align with my subject. And so on one video is all about success. It's all about winning. It's all about becoming your best self. Oh, how exciting. Ooh, maybe I'll watch that later. Okay. And then right underneath it, there's another video. And yes, I'm purposely not saying what these videos are. There's another video that was created by someone, and it's talking about and I'm hesitating because if I say, you guys will be able to find it, and I will not contribute to your delinquency. But let's just say it's a negative video that's gossiping about something that's going on with a certain pastor and his wife. And I thought, why am I interested in that? What is that doing for me? Why? YouTube, you don't even have to show me that stuff, okay? But the point that I'm making is not about the fact that it's there, because I do believe in the whole concept of freedom of speech. I think freedom of speech is good, but I think freedom of speech and being rude is not good. Okay, using your speech to disparage someone, to gossip about someone when you haven't been there. You only know what you see from a picture. Yeah, that's a whole nother ball game. But the point that I'm making is from that, and that's why I'm actually doing this episode today, is because it just hit me. You know what? It is important that we pay attention to where we're headed this year, and dismiss the things that really don't matter. But here's what I did notice. I noticed that the video that's all about success, about being your best self, about all the things that will take people to the next level, and this person is very good at what they teach. I noticed that all of that one only had 12,000 views. And then here's another one with all the gossip, all the name calling, and really disparaging someone, whether it's true or not. Okay. I don't know what is the value in that. And I asked myself, okay, if I were to watch this, will it take me any closer to achieving my goals? Will it allow me to serve my purpose any greater? Well, if I was a gossiper, then it would. I'd be like the greatest gossiper of all times, right? But not a gossiper. The things that I say it, and I stand by whatever I say. But the point that I'm getting to here is that it brings no value, adds no value to my life. It will not help me achieve any of my goals. At least I don't think so. And yet this video, whereas the one that's really good, these are both two brand new videos that were just released on YouTube. Whereas one about your best self, 12,000 views. Okay. And here's another one. And the timing of the release is the same. Okay. In terms of hours that it's been up. All right. And then the one that's all about gossip, 37 views within the same time frame as the other one. So I thought about that and I said, you know what? It is important that we take a look at ourselves. And part of that means looking back. You want to look back and find your inspiration. Decide, what are you going to dismiss? What are you going to let go of? Find out what doesn't serve you. What didn't serve you last year? And if it didn't serve you, you know what? Then don't participate. If it does not serve you, it's not helping you to discover that power that you have within you. You're here to do life with power. You're not here to play small. You know what? If you don't like what's going on, let's say with politicians and I'm talking about here in America, I can't speak for other countries. I can, but I won't. Well, some others I could, but I won't. But I'm here in America. And so if you don't like what's going on here, then instead of sitting around complaining and I guess throwing the metaphorical rotten tomatoes, then you know what? Get yourself in a position of power. Now, when I say position of power, that's not about controlling someone else. That's not about taking over other people's lives, because that is the misconception that we have about power. That's not what power is. Power is a kind of energy that when you release it, it's going to allow you to get results. It's going to allow you, and you can actually, unfortunately, you can use that power for good, or you can use it for not good things. And a lot of people who are in very visible positions are kind of using their power for not good. And then there's some who are in very visible positions who are using their power for good, and people don't like it. So either way, this isn't about either side. This is about you. When you look in the mirror, are you excited about that person? Look back, find your inspiration. You find your inspiration by deciding what you're going to do differently this year that you didn't do last year. Okay, so with that being said, you guys, I think I have shared enough on this. I think you get the picture. But take a moment, look back, find your inspiration. Once you find your inspiration, attach it to your identity. This is who you are. I'm sure you guys have heard that saying, what is it? New year, new you. And that's, it's been used and overused. I haven't seen it this year. I think people realize it's overused. And however, this is a new year, but you're going to become the real you. So new year, real you. So who's the real you? The real you is the person who's built by design to win. The real you is the person who's here to do life with power and not shrink back, not cower down, not let someone else convince you that you can't get to where it is you desire to be. So be excited about the person you see in the mirror. Be excited about the fact that now you're making a decision that you're going to get in the mix in 2026. I had to say that. I tell you guys, I'm going to keep saying that for a while. So you want to get in that mix. Mix it up a bit and say, you know what? This is who I am. I'm getting involved in my own life. I am not letting the whole outside world tell me who I am, who I should be, what direction I'm going in. No, I am going to make my own decisions. Now, the last thing as I wrap up, one of the things that I wanted to say, I mentioned that we get our identity from parents and actually family members and peer groups and yes, politicians who come up with a phrase and we grab it and hold on to it. And they tell us to do something and we go out there and we do it. Or we take it to heart, and whether it's good for us or not, we do it. Now, I'm not thinking about any particular politician, nor do I have any specific saying. Okay, I have a specific saying in mind, but I'm not going to say it. But let's just say it doesn't matter what the saying is. It's about, am I saying this because someone told me to, and I believe it, and I'm buying into it, or am I saying it because they told me to? And, they're in charge, so I guess I'll just follow suit. And I'll say it without thought, without feeling. Okay. So my point is, take control, you guys, of your life. That is the thing you can control faster than anyone or anything else. People spend so much time saying what someone shouldn't say, what someone should say, what someone shouldn't do, what someone should have done. A lot of times when I go on Microsoft Edge, and I'm not necessarily a fan, but there are some things on there, some reasons for which I have to go. But I usually go through Google most of the time, because Google gives me the option to have a blank page or blank screen, or to upload my own banner, and which I did upload my my own banner on my Google page. But the point that I'm making, I see them and they post these stories, and in my head I'm thinking, okay, either someone paid to have this posted, but why do I care? Okay, why? I don't care about these kinds of things. And they go, well, there are a lot of people that do. Not really. What they do is they're looking to live vicariously through someone else. No judgment here. If that's something that you want to do, all right, take a moment and do it. But at the end of the day, come back to the real you. There is no one more exciting than you, than the person you see in the mirror. Who's more exciting than that? All your gifts, all your talents, all your skills, what you're capable of, all the things you've learned throughout your life, all the things that you're going to learn, all the exciting opportunities that are waiting for you. What is more exciting than that? So if you've been holding back, if one of the things you said to yourself in 2025, if you said, well, I held myself back, then find inspiration in the fact that, you know what, I'm no longer holding myself back in 2026. Hey, guess what? I'm getting in the mix in 2026. So get in the mix it up. Don't be this person that you've always been and spend your time complaining about what other people have done to you, are doing to you. Okay. So with that being said, I said I was going to wrap up, and so I am going to wrap up, you guys. And thank you so much for listening. We're going to do some great things. We're already doing some great things in 2026. And just hang in there with us and come and hang out with us. And you will see that we're going to do life with power. All right. So if you've been holding back and you're a little bit shy about letting go, then yeah, stick with us. Okay. All right. We're not shy over here on this side. Okay. So with that being said, I want you guys to have a magnificent day. Make some magnificent promises to yourself. Energize your life and do life with power, because you are built by design to win. By the way, I want to say this. My course, it's a course and a masterclass, and the date for the masterclass is actually January 8th. I said I was going to announce it once I came up with that date, because I changed the date like 3 times. So I have solidified the date. It is going to be at January 8th at 6 p.m. The masterclass, where we're going to talk about identity powered goal setting. Doesn't matter if you set your goals already. You can learn a lot and go back and look at those goals and see if they are connected to your true identity, the person that you know in your heart of hearts that you were designed to be. The person that you think that you say, this is who I am, and this is who I'm supposed to be. Okay, so I think you'll find it inspiring, enlightening, and also it comes with a course. So with that being said, you can go to designingyourlifetoday.com and check it out, and you can click on it and check it out, or designingyourlifeachieversacademy.com. Designingyourlifeachieversacademy.com. That's a mouthful. But with that being said, you guys, I look forward to bringing you so much more. We're going to make some amazing things happen. Why? Because we're getting in the mix in 2026. Do life with power, because you're built by design to win.